Episode 73 of Multiplaying is brought to you by Jason's Bullshit Tweets. If you like reading about large-breasted women rather than seeing pictures, follow Jason on Twitter. Dumbass.
Sorry.
Everybody online, looking good.
A companion podcast to the collaborative blog and gaming community that's playing as life allows. This is Multiplaying.
Well, let's start the insanity.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Hello?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
You know, I do have to say one thing about that, though. One of the most impressive things was I was looking at the racks, and I was talking to Shannon about them. And as these two chicks left, one was there with her little 2-year-old daughter. I'm like, man, those are some racks. And she's like, that was a mother and daughter. And I was like, holy shit! I think she was right. Oh god, that mom was way hot.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, pictures would have helped that, I guess, but
yeah, a little bit. I mean, you do have a camera on your phone, right?
I don't want to be.
That's just rude.
Mongolian barbecue.
Yes, sorry for all the female listeners. Not that we have any of those anymore.
We don't have listeners.
Yeah. Well, at least not female listeners anymore. But anyways, welcome to Multiplaying, everybody. Tonight on the show, what are you drinking, super tremendous John?
I'm drinking a super tremendous fiction because I still have the remainder of that bottle that I'm finishing tonight.
Fantastic. What are you drinking, fantastic, stupendous Dean?
I've got water tonight.
Wow, that's pretty stupendous.
I got stuff to do, you know?
He's got to save his drinking for later. He's on the West Coast.
Yeah, there you go.
And epic, awesome. I can't keep on going with this. Jason, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a 40 of Mickey's.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. It's a real deal over here.
Yeah.
What about you, Slurms to the max? What are you drinking?
I have got the usual, and you should know that from episode 72. Yep.
Which is a Star Wars.
Yes. It is so good. So let's go into what we've been playing the past week. John, what have you been playing? I think I know.
I think you might, because we were playing it together.
Yeah, it was same thing we were playing last week.
Exactly, League of Legends.
Yes.
Slurms has officially gotten me re-addicted to League of Legends. Thank you, Slurms.
You're welcome. I am officially addicted as well. I finally bought my first champ with Mundo. Who you been using?
Lately, I've been playing all the champions that I've not seen that are on rotation and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I've been out for, I think, almost a year.
Right.
That I made it a mission to go through, and I did have riot points left over. So I bought a couple that looked interesting from what I've seen on videos and stuff, and in matches. So I bought a couple like Nocturne and stuff like that. And I tried them all out. I played AI games and bot games by myself and just tried them out. And I found a couple favorites like Cassiopeia with her freaking poison. What a pain in the ass, but I love it. It's fun. And
awesome.
So what about you? Well,
loving Mundo, if that's for sure. Or Mundo. Sorry, I probably am saying that right when I say Mundo, but it just sounds...
Pronounced Canada.
It's pronounced Canada.
It actually is Mundo, because when he talks, he's like, Mundo does Mundo where Mundo pleases.
Oh, he's like Doom?
Good.
Yeah.
He's like a Doom character? That's sweet.
Whenever I saw the name Mundo, when I read that, I don't know why, but I think of Ludo from the movie Labyrinth. But anyway.
Yes.
God, I have that movie forever. That's one of those movies that makes the room hot. It's on.
Whenever David Bowie starts singing, yes.
Oh, God.
It's like, what is he wearing a cod piece? But anyway.
What the hell am I watching?
Yeah. Is that David Bowie or is that Tina Turner?
Whoa.
But anyways, yeah, I'm enjoying it. Not much to really go on from what we said last week. I think
that's not true. You said you kind of discovered the "oh crap, I feel so awesome" moments. You said you had gotten some kind of crazy skill shot.
Not so much with Mundo, but I there is a lot more I become a badass when I hit all my skills and charge in on people. I've had a few moments in the game where I feel like just a straight up wrecking ball and just wading through crowds and shit.
Rather than previously where you were like, God, this game. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I still, even with Nasus, I like how Nasus pushes a lane a lot, and I don't feel like I can do it as nearly as well with Mundo. But I definitely feel like I can stand up to people a little bit better. Like Nasus, I think my best scoring game was like 7, 5, and 4 or whatever, which is like your number of kills, deaths, and assists. And like the second or third night that I was playing Mundo, I had a 15, 3, and 4.
Nice.
I was just destroying people with them, so it was like instant love with the Mundo. So, but out of all the ones that you've been playing, which one are you preferring the most now, or is there any that you have been playing now that you are enjoying more than ones you used to play?
Well, I mean, I always have enjoyed forever since I discovered him, Malphite. So I'm still, into him. But
who was that one that you were playing with me that you're just destroying people?
Oh, the lightning ball guy?
Yeah.
That was Kennen.
With a time bomb?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
that's Zillion. Zillion is the time bomb. That was a good game.
I want to mess with that guy.
So, Zillion is the time master. He is probably one of my favorites, but I did play him a lot before.
Which is
But,
hot. I know what I said is hot, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I don't know.
Won't
Slurms,
get up
have
in
you
that
seen-
dude shit.
Slurms, have you seen Zillion before?
I've seen him on there, but I've not messed with him at all.
Okay, well.
I've not actually played against him either, but yeah.
Okay, well.
I'm still pretty low level, so most of the people I play with are all playing the free characters.
Yeah, well, anyway, I'll hop in a game one of these days with Zillion. He's got these like time bombs, and he can rewind and recharge his abilities. He's got like snares and stuff. He can make people not die. Like he throws a buff. Like let's say you go into a fight, I throw a buff on you as Mundo, let's say, and even if someone kills you, as long as the buff is on, it'll actually resurrect you again, and then you'll keep going.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. And then his time bombs just hit like a truck. It's pretty fun. It was pretty fun. So I did have a really good game with that. I forget what my score was, but
All right.
anyway.
Cool. But yeah, loving the hell out of that still. And it's free, so come join us and look up. What's your name's Pazzalupo on there, right?
Yep.
All right.
The norm.
The norm, and I'm Slurmy on there, so if you want a friend on League of Legends, look us up. And Jason, you're playing it too, so what's yours?
I think it's Aberon, Abberon,
Okay, cool.
I believe.
But outside of League of Legends, what have you been playing?
Shadow Complex mostly, and Bastion.
Yeah.
But Shadow Complex has me hooked again.
That game is good.
Yeah, I've never beat the game, and I got the newer 360 in the last maybe 6 months, and I started over again. And yeah, that game's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope they make another one or put it on PC at least, so everyone can kind of play it. But it's so good, very Metroidvania type, and lots of cool like mechanics where it uses the 3D depth to where it's a 2D side scroller, but you shoot at people who are in the distance in the background.
Oh,
and
cool.
Stuff like that, and the upgrade abilities. I'm kind of really getting to where my suit's upgraded. A lot of fun.
The one thing about that game, I think I played it when it first came out. Was it 2 years ago in the Summer of Arcade, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
And I have actually still have never beat that game. I don't know how many hours I got into it, but I actually got to a point where I was completely stuck and I couldn't proceed any longer because I did something out of sequence.
Oh yeah.
And
I
it
could
fucked
see
me
that.
over, and I couldn't go back and fix my game. So I still haven't beat it, but that still doesn't mean that it's not an awesome game.
Well, before my 360 bricked, I had played it when it first came out, and I had got to a part that I was completely stuck on, and I refused to look up in a FAQ, and I just forgot about it. And then when I got the new 360, I booted up and played through it again. I got to that part and beat that part in like 2 minutes.
Nice.
My brain was not working the same way the first time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could kind of see it's it's one of those things where you have to backtrack a lot and stuff, but it plots you out where to go. And I could see if you kind of deviate from that, you're going to be maybe fucked. But one thing I really like about that game, and I think it was the first, at least, game that I noticed doing it, was the leaderboard stuff where it notified you in game. So if you did a headshot on somebody, or you made like a NPC character scream, like you would get a make 'em scream leaderboard, and it would show who's next on your friend list above you.
Oh, nice.
Where you try to outrank them, and it gives an overall points, which I don't think, Dean. I don't think I have you on my friends list on Xbox.
I am like never on Xbox anymore.
Yeah, but still, your stats will be there. I can still whip you in that. But I don't know. It's a neat thing. I think more games need to do, and Need for Speed kind of took that to the next level with the asynchronous type stuff. But I don't know, it's really, really cool part of the game to where I keep trying to outrank my friends on there. But they had said that game was coming to PC like at launch. They said, and eventually it will. And I'm really bummed that it never did.
It would do well on PC too. You think?
I would have probably played it by now, but I haven't.
Yeah, I don't get why they don't, and I'm sure they have talked about like in vague details that there will be a sequel. So I don't know if it ever will come to. Maybe the sequel will come to the PC, but that's a great game.
It was Chair, and they did. What else did Chair do? They did another.
They did Undertow, and they did, which was an Xbox Live game, and they also did the Infinity Blade.
That's right.
Oh, really?
On the iPhone, iPad. They got acquired by
Epic.
Epic, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean the game looks really, really good for being a downloadable title.
Yeah, it's Unreal.
I think it's $15. Yeah, it's Unreal Engine.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, really, really good game. That's about it.
And Nolan North.
Yeah, which kind of because he looks just like Nathan Drake.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
He doesn't have the swagger of Nathan Drake really, but you could tell they kind of just straight off ripped off Nathan Drake's
He's not
model.
beating the shit out of himself, jumping from platform to platform.
Oh god, yeah. He's not doing any of that shit. I mean, he makes a couple one-liners, but it's not anything where near. But you could tell they totally ripped a model from Uncharted.
Well, Dean, what have you been playing, sir?
I've been spending a lot of time with my PS3. I've been pretty busy lately, but over the last couple of weeks, I actually bought Final Fantasy XIII for I think it was like $12 or something, super cheap.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. And it was on a whim. It was on a whim that I bought it because I generally don't play JRPGs, but because I had played what was it, Breath of Death or whatever, and enjoyed that so much, I figured why not try the genre again. So I popped the disc in fully expecting to hate this game, and I actually ended up beating it last night. And
Wow.
Yeah, it's. I will say this game it's totally not for everyone, but it is so fun. It is really cool. And
now, I don't mean to interrupt, but did you
go
have
for it.
What other people have said? And I played the game for about 5 hours, and I kept hearing you have to play a certain amount, like 20 hours, to get to the fun. Did you see it that way?
Not at all. I thought it was pretty gripping right off the bat, and not everybody, excuse me. There were a lot of complaints about it being very linear, and I will agree with that completely. The game is it's
every Final Fantasy game really has been that way.
Yeah, and
I don't. Everyone since 10.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's what I'm basing my opinion on.
I think that's the complaint is that like a lot of the core audience of Final Fantasy, which I kind of consider myself because, like we were talking before the podcast, that three in the States, whatever it was, for six. Yes, thank you. Yeah. That's what actually started me even playing RPGs to begin with, and I really fell in love with that style. That felt a lot more open than what 10 and beyond did. Once they hit 10, I mean, I was already kind of getting. 7 was amazing, and I kind of fell out with 9, but 10.
I loved 9.
9 was okay, but I don't know, something about it I wasn't connecting with, but then 10 really I was kind of done with the series.
See, I really like 10. I beat 10.
For me it was I loved 7, then went straight to 10, loved 10, and then played 12. No, was it 11 was the MMO?
Yeah, 12 was the PS2 one.
12 was PS2.
11 was the MMO.
Yeah, 11 was the MMO. I skipped that. Well, that's not true. I played it for like a week, and I was like, fuck this. I was like, I don't want to play an MMO that feels like a Final Fantasy game that takes like an hour to cross the city. You know, No thanks. Skip that. Then went to 12, did that, and played 13 as well. But I guess the part that bothered me about 13, the linear feel, was that you're not. I mean, every story is linear to some degree, of course, because otherwise you wouldn't have a story. You'd have an amalgamation of random story like quests that you just did. So that it was just that everything was on rails. That's what bothered me. Like you didn't get to explore at all.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that's like even in 10, you could like go to different parts of the world when you felt like it, and even in 7, whatever. And 13, I felt like they're like, well, here's your point A, here's your point B, make it there without dying, and then we'll show you a cutscene, and then go to the next one, and we'll do it all again.
I can see that, but I heard it opens up at a certain point.
I never got there. I was just like, ugh.
It does, and really, what you're saying is absolutely true. You go from point A to point B, go through a cutscene, and then you continue through that cycle through the pretty much through the entire game. And personally, for me, it didn't bother me because this one was just so cinematic. I mean, the characters you kind of hate at first, but they end up getting to know each other and then learning really what their goals are. And
I guess I never got to that point because it's a beautiful game. I love watching everything, but then it was like I just didn't connect with the characters, and usually that's why I like to stay in it, And
it was pretty difficult at first, but then they do start figuring some things out and then start interacting with each other in a normal. In a normal manner, and they become likable, and that's the point at which the game starts to get really exciting, is when the characters stop working against each other but start working with each other toward a common goal. So it's very interesting, and even though it was linear, it was fun seeing that development. It was fun seeing all the gorgeous cinematics. I mean, when they cut between the pre-rendered and the in-engine stuff, sometimes you don't even notice, because it looks so good. I mean, you end up noticing after a while, but it's gorgeous, and it's
but
beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, it's a very beautiful game.
But really, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You finish.
I was going to say, but really the main draw, other than the story, was the battle system. And I won't talk too long about this because I know we don't have a ton of time, but I wanted to compare it real quickly to Rift, where, how Rift has the Soul system where you have maybe, several different archetypes, 3 at one time that your character can be. Well, Final Fantasy XIII, your characters have 3 different archetypes that they can be, that you can dynamically switch while in battle. And it's not a traditional turn-based battle. I mean, you have to wait for a gauge to fill up before you can attack, but it's not like, the enemy takes their turn and you take your turn. It's all like a live battle system. You take your turn when the gauge fills up or whatever.
It's real-time turn-based.
Sort of.
That's what it is, yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it is. It's real-time turn-based, but what is so cool about it is that you have to set up your classes in a way that they can defeat a specific enemy. So you're forced to use different strategies where you may need a healer, a debuffer, and a tank, or you may need 2 DPS and a tank, or you may need a healer and 2 DPS, or whatever. You may need a certain combination in order to defeat an enemy. And so it requires a lot of paying attention and a lot of experimentation, and it's incredibly fast paced. So, I got always really bored with the turn-based stuff. I thought it was incredibly dull to just like wait your turn, hit A, go down to magic, do this, do that. It kept me really engaged because I was constantly thinking, switching classes, trying to figure out, what strategy I needed to use to defeat this enemy and do it quickly. So it was really fun. And just to answer Jason's point, about 35 hours in, the game opens up, and the difficulty becomes, I would say, brutal, and it gets really freaking obnoxious at that point. And then the game...
Wait, you said 35 hours?
Yeah, about that. 32 to 35 hours.
I would never make it enough.
Well,
I got about 12 hours, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
I don't know what it was.
I know what you are, game.
And I have no idea why I liked it so much. And it's so weird that I did. I'm like, why do I like this game? I loved it. I thought it was great. But that open area actually was my least favorite part of the game.
Really?
It felt totally like a different game. It required me to grind because some of the battles were too difficult. There were a bunch of side quests that weren't even related to the story.
So then you finally got to the RPG element of it.
You got to the core. You got to the core Final Fantasy element of it. And that I think that's why the people like me, the people that have a problem with 13, the reason I had a problem once 10 started to get very linear and draw you down a path, is that the way I and probably a lot of the older Final Fantasy players played the game, I would sit there in a big open field and just run around for a couple hours building up my characters. I found that entertaining, just sitting there and building up my character.
Yeah, I did that in 10 and in 7 and stuff. And then also I became like an item grab looking for the ultimate items. Right. You know, in 10, I had to find every single summon. I had to find a way to get every single one.
Right. The idea of sitting there and building up so that when you do go into an actual battle, you just wipe the floor with them.
Yeah, it's so gratifying.
And you were able to grind in that area to do what you guys are saying, but I guess the difference is that I really enjoyed the balance and guided experience of being not dragged along, but being kind of funneled.
Shown the path.
Did it feel more cinematic to you?
Oh yeah, it felt like an interactive movie. It felt it was huge and epic, and just like, and then you get to chapter 11 where it opens up and the story's completely gone. It's like the rug's been pulled out from under you.
Chapter 11,
and you're like, it is just chapter 11. You get to chapter 11 and then like everything ends, and you're like, what? What am I? Where's the story? So for like several hours, you're just wandering around doing fucking nothing. You know, when 30 hours before you were involved in this huge epic story. So it's kind of shocking. But
so basically, it was like the first 30 hours was like the Japanese BioWare. The next chunk was like Bethesda, and then the chunk after that is back to BioWare. No, it's like
it wasn't. No, it's chapter 11's hard to explain. It's like you have a bunch of go kill a monster quests, and that's it. Like, it's bullshit. There's no towns or anything like that. You just run around this big ass field and fight
kill quests,
dumbass enemies. Yeah, go and do kill quests. Like, it's really dumb and dull. But if you take that out, anyway, all in all, game was great. The ending was really cool. It tied everything up, and I was very, very pleased with it. And I guess they're going to make a Final Fantasy XIII 2, which will be a sequel to this, which I am actually... They said they're going to fix all the issues with the first one, and I'm like, no! There were some parts that were really good. I liked it.
I'm the guy that likes it.
Yeah, I'm the single person out here. But I'm really looking forward to it because it's I can imagine it being huge and open and a lot more traditional fun for regular fans or whatever.
It sounds like you got your $12 worth out of that game.
Dude, did I? Oh my god!
How much would you have paid for that game?
Oh, you know what?
Knowing what you know now.
Knowing what I know now, I would have bought it. I would have bought it right out, like full price. Yeah. Absolutely, it was a fantastic game. But don't take my word for it, because a lot of people fucking hate that game. So
yeah, you don't want people sending you bills for what they paid for it.
If you can, buy it used. If you hate it, I don't know, give it to a friend. Whatever.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's it.
That's you. And there's no news really this week unless somebody has something
there
they
is
want to
some
talk.
news.
What is the news, Jason?
Hold on, coming across the wire. The release of iPhone Julia Stiles, the International. Are you familiar with this game?
I heard about it.
I'm totally going to buy this game.
How much is it going to be?
It's $2.99. It's on the App Store right now.
What?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yep, it's $2.99. It's Julia Stiles, the International. It's a game starring Wesley Snipes, who I read an interview that he did in prison with IGN the other day to promote this game. And you play hard as nails hitman Julia Stiles, brought to life with voice acting from Wesley Snipes. And this is episode 1, opening moves. Yeah, and
wow.
I think he said in the interview he plans on this being a big budget movie once he gets out of prison. So I have to check out what this game is.
Got to get in on the cutting room floor.
Oh yeah, we're on the ground floor of this lore.
Ground floor. There you go.
I want to know all the lore and.
I thought you were saying Julia Stiles. I'm like, who's
That's what I kept hearing. I was like, why?
You know, it's
are you
funny. I'm looking through the
Stiles?
reviews on the App Store, and like half of them reference her. The game would have been better if she was in it.
Julia Child. Awesome. There you go.
Julius. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll more as this develops.
All right, get back with us on that. Excuse me.
I'm going to PAX in 2 weeks. There's more news.
Yes, you are. That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
I
somebody.
hate you.
Hey, can you see if there's a Julius Styles panel that you can attend?
It's got
Probably is. Probably in that big hall.
it's got Wesley Snipes live via satellite.
Yeah.
I've actually listed out all the panels that I want to see. Like the Guild Wars 2, there's going to be all these Guild Wars 2 booths set up that I cannot wait to check out. There's going to be some Skyrim stuff, and they're going to do a live D&D game. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited.
Oh, real quick bit of news.
Speaking of Skyrim, I was like, once you guys talked about the collector's edition and said how much crap it was, I went and looked. What a bunch of crap! I was like, what the hell? Anyway,
Yep.
sorry, just had to say that.
I'm sure there's somebody that likes it though, and that's fine if that's. But I don't care if they want to spend their money on that. But I just found it hilarious that
Because
people were giving.
I was sure that I would, because normally like they have all kinds of cool shit, and I looked at that, I was like, really?
Yeah.
I was like,
I really hope they said they revamped the third person mode in that, and I really hope they did because I'm not a big fan of first person RPGs. So
Really?
if that works well, yeah, I don't like first person RPGs very well. Fallout's didn't we talk about this last week?
Yeah.
Yes, we did. Fallout's your exception.
Fallout's my exception because you shoot people.
Yep,
but yeah,
guns.
you have guns, and it's post apocalyptic, and
It's totally different.
erection. Anyways,
Wow, that is hot.
and I'm happy I have an erection right now that didn't involve a homeless person.
Whoa.
You gotta
Anyway,
edit that out, of course.
No, it's
Really?
all standing.
it's all
Alright,
staying
that's
in. It's all staying in.
Really warm
And-
now. Sorry.
Wow. We're going to get to the answers from last week's question. If you remember, last week's question was, what MMO trope do you want to see go away? Is there something that you're in MMOs that you're absolutely sick of? The answer that we got from Twitter was from Duck Swirly. She says her answer is balls. And then from the email,
Wait.
Oh, hang on. Wait. Let's revisit this.
Yeah.
Let's revisit this. We need to analyze this answer.
I mean, is that are there too much balls?
I don't know.
Is the game
that was
too
her
manly?
response.
Is the game too manly for Doc?
I don't know. I don't know.
She's sick of men in MMOs.
I don't know if that's it or not. She just says my answer is balls.
She's still upset that there weren't more female classes in war.
Ooh, good point.
Maybe.
Good point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Why could she have a female chosen?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
What's up?
I agree with you. Doc. Too many
she's
balls.
talking about- maybe she's talking about the architecture.
Or maybe she just thinks her answer is balls. Like, my answer's shit. It's balls. So she's not going
That
to
could be. That might
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Attitude. Come on, you're better than that, Doc Swirly.
Gosh.
Well, from email, we got one from Dustin. Pretty straightforward. It says escort quests in which the NPC sets the pace or chooses the path of travel.
That needs to go in like every game. That
Yeah,
is-
it needs to go away. The NPC needs to go at your freaking pace.
Yeah.
Just saying.
They also put reputation grinds as a quick other note.
Oh, God, yes.
Or if you are going to design an NPC escort quest, you need to spend some time giving them a little bit more intelligence.
So they don't
react to
reset
situations. Yeah.
after every 10 feet. They run back and forth.
Fucking idiots.
Dumbass NPC. The answers that we got from Google Plus. The first one was from Bruce. It says classes. I'm absolutely sick of the idea of classes and wish to see them and everything associated with them be gone, especially the holy trinity of tank, DPS, and healer.
That was actually Shannon's question we were talking about. I mean, her answer when we were talking about
answer?
the other day. Yeah.
Just classes like the cut and dry class.
Yeah, she wants to see it mixed up and people just defining it. But it's going to be really hard to get away from that because if a game doesn't do that, people will define that.
What I find funny about it, though, is that like one of the basically the first MMO ever, like Ultima Online,
Never did.
it just had skill based, and that like people have done like other MMOs with a similar system, but none of them had like a polish to them that we want.
What about
Well, Eve does, but that's a whole different beast.
Sure,
yeah,
but
but
I
even
think
Champions was different to a degree, wasn't it?
Well,
I mean, you had the opportunity to mix it up more.
I guess not to the degree that I'm thinking of. That it was pretty much just completely
Yeah.
open. That
Yes.
the more you did something, the better you got at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
City of Heroes and Champions Online blurred the lines a little.
Yeah.
like scrappers could tank and tanks could do DPS.
Yeah, and I was totally happy that somebody was doing something different at that time. That was what's great about that. But
completely getting rid of them is like only a couple of games have done it.
Like Rift kind of pushed it by letting each of the Holy Trinity have more options.
Yeah,
and I think Star Wars is probably right. Star Wars is going to do that maybe a little bit further, but
with the advanced classes, it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it becomes to the point where you instead of having 8, you have 16 classes by the end of the game.
Yeah.
So that's nice. But
we'll see. The next one is from Jennifer. It says end game rating with more than 5 people, and she also agrees get rid of the Holy Trinity.
I don't get the end.
Yeah. Well, I understand what she's saying because it's like I think she's talking about strictly the PvE rating. If I were to guess. Because
she doesn't like the large man raids.
Right. The ones that require, and I think what she might be referring to more specifically is the elitist attitude that comes with large scale ratings.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because for example, Tack Devin, he's doing in Rift, he's doing all these high scale raids, and he's been put on the bench, for example, because he didn't have a certain chess piece or something like that. And stuff like that. So I think that might be what she's more specifically talking about. Is
what that is?
Behind it.
You know what that is? That's balls.
That is balls.
And that's what Doc Swarley
That's what Doc's talking about.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm seeing this. It's all getting a little clearer.
Yeah, it is. It is. We might have some more insight later. Let's see what Michael has to say.
Michael says maybe it's about time to build MMOs that are not just another variation of the Deku Mud inspired system. I've been playing since EverQuest 1. MMOs are a genre, not this one not this one particular system that, in my opinion, stalls its evolution enormously.
I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, it's just if you completely evolve a game, it's going to be either a failure or really slow to take off.
I think with the prevalence of free-to-play games coming, that we're going to see more and more of the variations on this.
It's going to continuously change, but in incremental.
Yeah, you're not going to see that in a big $50 box, $15 subscription game.
Right.
You're going to see that more experimentally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Joseph says no more kill X amount of rats quests, and by that I mean the old tired questing styles from current MMOs needs to be retired in favor of new dynamic content.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Amen.
That's whenever
the kill quests.
I can remember. I can recall in specific MMOs where I was having fun, and I kind of got to that moment where I got a bunch of quests, and I looked at. It's all just go do this, and it was like that's when the room gets hot. It's like, I don't want to look at the screen anymore and do this.
Yeah,
exactly.
It needs to be more engaging.
Yeah, definitely.
Spencer Williams says, "I wish they weren't so online."
That's a good point. I will say, Mr. Turnup, that you're. I agree with you completely. The end.
All right,
Turnup.
You have. It's Devil Turnip. Is his online handle.
Wow, shit just got real in here.
Balls. Chris Smith says combat.
Like
that's all he says. Is combat.
Yeah,
but the current system of combat.
He means the turn-based aspect.
Yeah, probably.
I was very excited with Age of Conan, with what they were doing there. And I wish that the game past level 20 would have turned out right away and didn't kind of kill it for me. But I still, if I go back and play Age of Conan, I still enjoy that combat. I think
that combat was so cool.
It is pretty fun. Yeah,
I hope somebody else takes that up, but
it's going to be a while.
Yeah, hopefully
it's going to be a while.
And last, we got one from Scott. Says, "I wish kids knew what the hell MMO even stands for, but that isn't quite what you asked." He says, "I'm in favor of leaving the achievement game behind. The level gear up, raid gear up, expansion reset, do it again crap. That's all fine and good, and I'm not asking to never have that, but I'd love to see a AAA budget polished game on the polished game focus on the world and have social multiplaying goals instead of the selfish me focus we have now."
Yeah,
indeed.
Like Dark Age of Camelot's relic raids, for example.
Yeah, where it was some big thing that meant something to your community.
Yeah, where it actually influenced everyone.
Right. I think a while back, when we were still playing War, it might have just been on the War podcast that we were doing. somebody on the show mentioned, and I thought it was a fantastic idea that because I think we were joking about farming or like crafting different crafting styles in Warhammer, and somebody had joked farming, like having a farm, and then it kind of evolved into a conversation of, well, why not have like farms and have it be a social like experiment that, okay, it takes everybody to kind of help out with this thing and to get what you need. Maybe not in Warhammer per se, but have a game that everybody in the community that you're building has to help out with the crafting.
So that'd be kind of like taking the Facebook properties into an MMO, like
kind of,
Farmville, which
right.
that could be cool.
And there's some games that already do that. I don't know if any of you have ever played or seen a Tale in the Desert.
I've heard of it.
It's a crafting based MMO where you do that, like you work together as a community, sometimes as a guild or whatever, in order to craft stuff together, bigger and better things. Like it's a very interesting variation on the MMO genre. Anyway,
well, did you guys have anything to add to that of what you'd like to see go away?
On that last answer with leaving the grind behind, I definitely agree with that, but I want some sort of progression, and I think we talked a little bit about last podcast. I would like to see something that rewards you with just more options of how to do things, not necessarily you are becoming more powerful in a certain ability, but you are expanding your repertoire of what you can do so you can tackle things differently. And I think that's kind of what Guild Wars did. Once you reach max level, you could go and get, elite ability or different abilities, and that kind of expanded the end game in that. And I think that's not a bad way to go about that.
Right. All right. And I think to that regard, one time that Shannon was on the show, she had mentioned about, like, we were talking about Dark Age of Camelot, like, as we often do, but having that grind isn't necessarily a bad thing, because you sat there and you would grind away at mobs. You would get to know the people that you were grouping with. You would really, and the biggest, most important thing was you would get to know your class very well, so that when you turned around and went into RVR, you knew how to play your class. Yeah. It might change up a little bit because of the setting of being in RVR, of course, but I mean, you knew exactly what you could do.
I think that's a good point, and what that had that other more modern MMOs don't have is a degree of difficulty in PvE.
Yes.
And DAOC was one of those older type games where you could go into just a normal level appropriate dungeon, and you would almost always every 10 minutes see someone booking ass for the exit because they did something or someone aggroed, and you don't really see that now. I think where WoR really failed PvE wise was it was too simple.
Level appropriate in Dark Age of Camelot means you might be able to hang out solo in the like lobby area of that dungeon
and pick scraps.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
We're not going to move into that dungeon.
Yeah.
I think that's totally missing. And I think that would be something that would be back into PvE in an MMO.
Yeah, but it was something that I think also might help with that is the fact that in Dark Age of Camelot, the dungeons were open world inside of them. It was an instance for the group that went in.
Oh yeah.
I think that helps with that community feel and stuff like that. Like the whole, even if it's like an expansive area, a lot of the times they're instanced, or to some degree, like only those 10 people will be able to see what's going on rather than everyone that's in there.
Well, and that's when you met probably most of the people was in those dungeon areas.
Exactly,
People were grouped together there.
I made some of my best
bunched up.
I made some of my best acquaintances in Dark Age of Camelot during sneaking around DF when the enemy faction owned it, and it was like everyone just makes up a group. It doesn't matter what level you are. Everyone just starts grouping up just so that you can stick together and have intel and stuff like that.
I can't remember how many times I was grinding in DF only to get ganked by a fucking Shadow Blade or Infiltrator.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Tack says he can't remember how many times he's been in DF where he just got ganked by an Infiltrator or a Shadow Blade.
Yeah.
Because he played Hib, but...
Sorry. I was probably the Infiltrator.
Yeah, Jason says he's sorry. He was the Imphy.
I hated him so much.
I apologize for Dragon Fang.
My mom did.
Oh, yeah, but, you made some of the best friends there, It's like, even though, let's say I was level 30 and I grouped up with a level 50, sometimes you got some good conversations, like, in between, like, intel for, like, where the stealther was or whatever. You'd have some good conversations, like, just there, like in detention. You just have to. I don't know. It was
well, what was so
time.
great about that area too is so unique was you had that player versus player aspect of it, but you were also in tough as hell dungeon that you had to just equally as worry about getting aggro when you were trying to do
exactly.
something.
Like if you had to run, you had to know how not to get aggro in order to run away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either had to stand and fight if you had gotten past an area that you can't just bolt through, or you got to know how to get by. It was
so yeah. I mean, that would be a good answer for the trope you want to get rid of. Just how easy a lot of the games are now.
That's true. Yep.
Yeah, the ease comes with the mass marketing bit.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yep.
Let's go back to hard.
Agree. We'll get in. We'll have next week's question here. A little bit detached from the last couple. We've been talking about MMOs, and I guess this could be an MMO. But what I want to know is what game that never got a sequel would you like to see either remade and modernized, or have a sequel finally created for it?
Is there any other answer for this?
Well, we have our normal answer, but yeah, we've been talking about it for the past 5-10 minutes. So, but that's all we got for this week, folks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Horizons.
Horizon 2. Electric Boogaloo.
Dragons be tripping.
Dark and Light.
Dragons be tripping. That's the subtitle.
Well, gentlemen, no point in hanging around this dump any longer.
Wait! Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Show's over, folks.
You can't go! All the plants are going to die.
Take off, eh?
Thanks for listening to Multiplaying, the companion podcast at multiplaying.net. Questions, comments, feedback, errors, etc. can be sent to multiplaying@gmail.com. We invite you to write a review on iTunes and visit our website at www.multiplaying.net.
We've made a lot of friends, shared a lot of laughs, often at the expense of others.
I think some people are going to be upset.
Let me just close this conversation by saying you are one unique individual.
Thank you and good night.